Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to shock you. We're talking about Sean Diddy Combs, the darker truth behind the glamour, and the explosive revelations that have the entire industry on edge. For years, rumors swirled, people brushed them off, and the public called it conspiracy, but now, the walls are cracking and voices once ignored are finally being heard. Stay locked in, because what unfolds in this story isn't just drama, it's a turning point in how power, money, and influence really work in Hollywood.
So in 2021, I mentioned Sean Diddy Combs, and a lot of people jumped on me and was like, no, that can't be real, not that black man, nuh-uh. Then he went to jail, supposedly. Allegedly. I don't use that word. But you know what I mean, right? Because the mugshots and things are not adding up. But anywho, point is, to the world, he went to jail. And that's when a lot of people started waking up like, wait a minute, hold on, time out, black on the play. That is not what I thought was going to happen. And then the information started coming out from victims and from people that went to the parties and held all these secrets themselves. And then you're like, nope, that sounded like a horror movie, and I thought people were crazy when they mentioned that to me. So we understand now that trafficking is real. That's my point, right?
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep going?
To me, we get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what nobody said, let's just here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as hip hop is fine with his big.
This is where things start getting uncomfortable. You can hear the disbelief in people's voices, the denial, the shock, the no, not him reaction that always shows up when a celebrity's image doesn't match reality. And yet, as survivors began speaking, the puzzle pieces stopped looking like rumors and started forming a pattern. The internet didn't want to believe it until the evidence stopped feeling like coincidence. It's wild how long people can ignore red flags when fame is involved. But now that the curtain is pulling back, the question becomes, who knew and who chose to stay silent?
At first, because they wanted the job done. At first, because they wanted At first, because they wanted whatever they could get out of things. They told me not tonight. And then that changed into, let me help. Let me, I had a couple tell me, let me figure it out. Let me try to help you. And then when they went to help, my pimp came in and handed them a suitcase of money.
They were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move. I was freaked out. And I got up and I held her. And they opened the trunk and they took her from me. Because they said she was already sick. And they killed her. Her name was Bailey. There are kids in there from Africa, from Mexico. We got to this spot right over the border. They went past these colorful houses. They turned down these dirt roads. And there was a bunch of trucks. And they divvied everybody out like hell. One person, she wouldn't stop crying. So they said that they would just send her off to somebody who was already sick, that had AIDS, that was gonna die soon, because she wouldn't shut up. My pimp smiled at me that whole time because I had straightened up my attitude. I begged for him to take me back. I begged for him to keep me. And I promised that I wouldn't tell the social workers again. I promised that I wouldn't say anything if he just took me with him.
What makes this even more disturbing is the power dynamic at play. These weren't just parties or social scenes, they were environments built around control, fear, and influence. The irony? On the surface, everything looked glamorous, but behind the scenes, people describe a world where loyalty wasn't earned, it was enforced. And when someone finally steps forward after years of silence, the reaction isn't compassion. It's skepticism, excuses, and backlash. That tells you everything about how celebrity culture protects itself. Would you still defend someone if you knew what really happened behind closed doors?
One time he locked me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying.
Drug trafficking and human trafficking goes hand in hand. Okay? So if you understand what it would be like to take a drug dealer's supply of cocaine, do you think he'd leave you alone? Do you think he's gonna let you live? If he can't find you, don't you think they're gonna make your life a living hell? Because you took their supply. There are people who think that they own my body, my mind, and my soul. They think that I'm their property. And you have witnessed that. Not just for me, but so many other survivors. Cassie Ventura, so on and so forth. But you've really witnessed it. For me. So do I honestly believe that somebody will ever leave us alone? No, because that's what we've been trying to tell you. The justice system is corrupt. Who do you think we were yelling at this entire time? Who do you think we were trying to... Who do you think kept MK Ultra as a secret? Bill Clinton apologized in 1993. Look it up on YouTube. Now, if he apologized in 1993, that was going on way before he came out and said, oops, we caught. We're sorry. Do you really believe that they're sorry when he's on the Epstein list? When his picture is painted all over the place? We're not talking about that, though. We're not asking those questions. So he said he was sorry for MK Ultra in 1993.
But Curtis, people know about this very public, long-standing feud that you've had with Sean Combs. So what brought you to this project?
Well,
Was there anything that surprised you when you were watching the
No.
footage?
that didn't surprise me at all.
How did you go about getting the footage? And do you know the intent of the videographer? Why?
When you're a reality star, you're so used to being able, you have a camera around you all the time, but when you have that kind of power and everything, I'm going to edit this.
And do you think that hip-hop culture was on trial as much as Sean Combs was?
Look, if I didn't say anything, you would interpret it as the hip hop is fine with his babies.
This morning, never-before-seen footage of Sean Diddy Combs in the days leading up to his arrest in New York last September.
You want to put stuff in my fanny pack?
The exclusive video obtained by Netflix shows Combs debating with his lawyers about strategy.
Listen to me. I'm going to get off the phone right now, and I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution. No matter what nobody said. Let's just, here and there, y'all are not working together the right way. We're losing.
The footage is part of a new, highly anticipated docuseries by director Alex Stapleton and rapper and executive producer Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, titled Sean Combs, The Reckoning.
Curtis, Alex, thank you so much for the time right now. I'm looking forward to talking about this, and this is something that a lot of people have been talking about for some time now. Alex, let me begin with you. The docuseries is entitled Sean Combs, The Reckoning. How is this one different from the others that have been out there?
Well, I think that the biggest marker of what makes this film or the series different is how much time we took into putting into the making of the film, doing our due diligence to get the right voices, to the table.
Well, this new documentary on Netflix is getting slammed already by Sean Diddy Combs' team, calling it a shameful hit piece.
All right, let's find out more about it. Ryan, Christopher, are there lawsuits involved now?
All right, well, good morning. So 50 Cent's 4-part docuseries about Sean Diddy Combs starts streaming today on Netflix, and already Diddy's team now speaking out. Now, his publicist is calling Sean Combs' The Reckoning, quote, a shameful hit piece that's, quote, unfair, illegal, and an unnecessary and deeply personal affront. Now, the trailer for the docuseries shows Mr. Combs on the phone with his legal team saying, quote, we're losing just 6 days before he was ultimately arrested. 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson, a Queens native, and Combs are longtime rivals, as Jackson claims that their feud started when Diddy offered to take 50 shopping, which Jackson then took offense to. Now, in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, Combs' publicist noted that Netflix relied on stolen footage that was never actually authorized for release by Netflix or really anybody, adding that Mr. Combs had been gathering the footage since he was 19 years old to tell his very own story. Combs is currently serving a 50-month sentence on prostitution-related convictions.
Listen to the way these experiences are described: confusion, trauma, emotional numbness. That doesn't sound like drama or exaggeration. That sounds like someone who lived through something they were never supposed to talk about. And yet, every time survivors open up, people rush to call them liars instead of asking why so many stories sound the same. Power never protects victims. Power protects itself. And when someone finally says, "This happened to me," you can feel the pain, but also the strength of refusing to stay silent anymore.
After a certain point of being traumatized, after a certain point of realizing that nobody loved me for me and just for what I could do, or whatever the fact that it was, what people thought about me when I was a little kid, I was naive like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after a certain point, I didn't give a damn who did what. I just wanted to be seen. And I know that a lot of people can say, yeah, there's times where a point in your life where you're just like, I just want somebody to give a damn. I just want somebody to see me, and I just want somebody to love me. Okay? So I was there a lot because I've been abused. And after a certain point, I went really numb. Didn't care. A lot of people that were with me called me a traitor because they felt like I just left. I'd be mad at me too, because I stopped giving a shit about anything. I didn't care. It all just didn't care. It all didn't care. When I was out, it didn't. A lot. But I'm not healed. Okay, I'm still angry, still really hurt, and we're still not getting anywhere. So I didn't care. Okay, and to be in a room where people promised you the world, at one point, you just go numb.
What really hits hard here is how the public only reacts when the damage is already done. For years, people laughed, ignored, or dismissed these warnings until the situation exploded beyond denial. Now the conversation has shifted from rumors to responsibility. Who enabled it? Who turned a blind eye? And how many people were affected while the world was busy idolizing an image instead of questioning the truth? It's a harsh reminder that fame doesn't equal innocence, and silence isn't always ignorance. Sometimes it's survival.
With this case, these freak-off parties, they're not freak-off parties. There's a lot that happens. There's life-size wheels that people attach children to and spin it and decide who's having what way. There are so many things. There's body cakes, there's party favors, and I'm talking like, you know how you put up a little birthday bag when you go to a birthday party, And before you can leave, you can take one of those little birthday bags off the table. And then there's toys and like all this stuff for coming to the party. Yeah. Instead of that, there's children. They call them party favors. Okay. I'm really trying to spit this out. I'm really having a hard time tonight. Graduated before my class. I did not leave the state of California at that time. So I am telling you, for some of you, I don't need to say a name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I don't know her. And it's not my place to tell you what else I'm thinking, because I think you already know. It's not my place. I'm struggling and I have enough on my plate. And if you understand that that's not just distracting from the truth, there are children being tortured, limbs cut off so they don't fight back. There are children under your feet. There are children in your face. You walk past a survivor and you interacted with a trafficker today. Do you understand the world and the war that we are in, that everybody keeps going back and, oh no, it's not true. And oops, wait a minute. Did Jay-Z, is Jay-Z on the news? Is he Rock Nation? Are you kidding me? I liked him. Same thing you said about Diddy. Same thing you'll say about the Beehive. It's the same thing you'll say about Ellen DeGeneres. It's the same thing you'll say about Oprah. What will probably throw you is when you find out that it's the same thing you're going to say about your teachers in your schools.
Notice how the emotional weight builds here. The anger, the exhaustion, the frustration with a system that listens only when it's too late. You can hear someone who has carried pain for years finally saying, "I'm still not healed. I'm still hurting." And that honesty hits differently. This isn't gossip. This isn't entertainment. These are real lives, real trauma, and real consequences hidden behind wealth and influence. And the scariest part? The more you listen, the more you realize how deep this story really goes.
I'm alive. I'm alive. And I don't know what reality check I needed to like up the face, but I'm alive. And I feel like, hey, wait a minute. What am I doing? I've been having those realizations lately. I don't know if it's the years I'm getting on me. By the way, I'm 31 years old. My name is Ali, if you didn't know. Hi. And this is my mama, Shelly. She's like, I know, she's my twin. She looks just like me. I know you're confused. I was adopted at 19, 20 years old as an adult, for an adult adoption, because nobody wanted me. They just didn't want anybody to have me. We're going to talk about that in a second. But a lot of people are trying to say many crazy things, and I just want to come here and talk to y'all because I think you guys can connect the dots. I'm not talking to those who can't get it. You're useless and you're hopeless to our government as well, and they know that. I mean that with all disrespect. You are useless and hopeless. Do you hear me? To the truth of what this war is about.
Just took me with him. If I could go home. And he did. Me still being stupid, I tried to tell my social workers. I tried to tell him my boyfriend is 27 years old. He takes me to elite parties. He takes me to these things that I don't want to go to. And can you please help me? And they just documented him as a boyfriend. My social worker told me that maybe I needed to just talk to him. Maybe if I just did something right, or if not, just break up with him, that it would be okay.
At this point, the narrative is bigger than one person or one scandal. It becomes a conversation about how far people will go to protect reputations instead of protecting victims. Every revelation adds pressure. Every testimony raises the stakes. The internet may argue, critics may push back, but one thing is clear: once the truth starts surfacing, it can't be buried again. And right now, the world is finally paying attention, even if some wish it wasn't.
I've been a party favor at a few parties. And I'm gonna rewind a little bit. After a certain point of being traumatized, after a certain point of realizing that nobody loved me for me and just for what I could do, or whatever the fact that it was, what people thought about me when I was a little kid. I was naive like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after a certain point, I didn't give a damn who did what. I just wanted to be seen.
What I was asking for was crazy, and they wasn't spending money like that. I'm talking about, you got footage, you got clothing, you got. I was doing footage. I had pictures, all the stuff that I had. You could figure out a way to pay a brother or something like that. And then I was telling her about some prices that I've already received.
It's real wild that somebody is actually coming in here to say that I need to go to jail for what? I was in jail. I was in jail when they accused me of what they accused me of last time, and I wasn't guilty of that either. What this is proof of, though, is that somebody in the government keeps allowing me to be set up for crimes I didn't commit. It's wild. It's wild. I keep coming up innocent and don't nobody want to believe it. No, Allie Carter is not telling the truth. She is a fraud, and she's working with an alleged human teleporter named Shelly Carter. That for whatever reason, everyone wants to come after me, but don't nobody want to go after her. Girl. I am very careful. All the time. I have no choice but to be.
Why y'all don't stand up? See, that's the other part of you see.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing. See, this is the thing. This is the thing, Grace. This is the thing, Grace. You can't expect people to show what they've never had. In order to stand up, you have to have courage. How could I ever expect a coward to have courage? You know how many people in the industry that I know that know all the things that I know, the same as I know, and the only reason that they mad that I'm speaking out is because they ain't had the balls to do it themselves.
Okay.
It is I'm not calling it a documentary. I'm calling it a mockumentary. That's what I call it.
That's Spinal Tap.
I call it a mockumentary. I feel like this whole thing is mocking me.
So when you step back and look at everything, the testimonies, the documentary, the backlash, the emotional confessions, it paints a picture that's impossible to ignore. This isn't just about controversy or headlines. It's about power, accountability, and the cost of staying silent. The public is divided, the media is reacting, and the conversation is only getting louder. What happened here matters because it forces us to question the image we're sold versus the reality behind it. If this breakdown shocked you, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful celebrity drama.